Good morning. Okay, so we're gonna go fast today because I've Gert has an appointment this morning for her yearly thing, and we gotta go in just a minute. So I'm gonna try to at least get this shot before all that happens. So today we've made it through. Okay, I'm looking at like my book of songs that I have, and we probably have like maybe 7 or 8, I think, that I haven't done yet over the course of 3 or 4 different albums and a couple that aren't on albums. We're getting there, so I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have to figure out something new when we get about a week from now. But it also means we're on a bunch of deep cuts and on songs where it's like, oh, gotta practice and see if I can still hit the notes. So this song is called "Find Me," Truth. It's off my album Purpose, and so it's actually, as much as the title doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you look at it, it makes sense in my head because what it is about is finding. It's like it says find me and truth, and so truth is like what it's talking about, like finding your truth, but it's yours, like your who you are, and some of it is about like sometimes we kind of lose ourselves in different like relationships or friendships or just in how we're interacting with the world because we're trying to be whatever this thing is. And then at some point, so it says like, okay, here's a line in it. I've been down this path before, wrote these songs, sang these notes, played these chords. I tried to change, tried to dance, I tried to mourn, but all I was met with was scorn. Find me in your heart, find me at the start, find me when we've grown apart, find me in your heart. That's the chorus. But so it's find me at the start is like sometimes you have to go back to who you were. Like look back at who you were before, because sometimes we'll be at the end of a situation. We're like, how did we get here? Like, who am I? And, who is this person I've become? And so sometimes we go back to the beginning and figure out like who you were before you made all these certain choices, and which of the choices were ones that actually align with who you want to be and who you are, and which ones were ones that you just made in the moments and maybe you want to make different ones later on. And so yeah, it's kind of about that. And then it's also, there's another part of it where the last verse is like, when there's no one left to blame, just yourself, just your word, just your name. Each dead end, each beginning, they all look the same. With new wisdom, there always comes pain. This was before I started writing things super hopefully with my album, so I was a little down with it. But that's a truth that sometimes when we're like, there's growing pains. There's a lot of pains that happen like as you're growing and you're coming to realizations about things and you're learning, and sometimes when we grow, we end up having to leave behind pieces of ourselves, pieces of our identity, because they don't serve who we're becoming. And there's pain in that. Sometimes that pain comes from like, well, I think that's enough. You get the idea. There's pain that happens when we grow, and there's just pain that happens in life, and sometimes that's part of it, and to pretend like it doesn't happen is, we're not going to gloss over the fact that life is real. Sometimes things hurt. And as with all my newer music and the things I go with, I try to look at it from like, once we get through going through the pain, because you got to feel the pain. You can't like just gloss over it. Once we do the pain and we learn what it is, because what is pain? But understanding that there was something that we loved and something that we cared about. And that's never a bad thing. So whether, sometimes pain is because we've lost someone. Sometimes pain is because we've lost something with ourselves. Sometimes it's because someone does something to us that is making us lose something. So there's a lot of different forms. That I was supposed to be ending with something hopeful with that. I'll come up with something hopeful after the song, right? Sometimes we just have to have the reality. So this is Find Me, Truth. It has a very similar vibe and chord progression to Rock Me Mama like a wind and a rain. Rock me mama like a southbound train. Oh, hey, mama rock me. A little wagon wheel. It does sound a lot like that. Okay, anyways. Serious. Find me. Been down at this, that, before. Wrote these songs, sang these notes, played these chords. I try to change, I try to dance, I try to more, but all I will lay with is scorn. Try to go way up high and do a little bit of a power vocal, but like I said, I wrote this song, almost 20 years ago. I had a different voice back then. I know I can't hit it the way I used to hit it, so we're just gonna see what comes out. We're gonna try. When there's no one left to blame, just yourself. Just your word, just your name. Each day, each weekend. So, I was thinking about it. I was like, while I was singing, because my mind is always in a million places. That's why this has to be on muscle memory. It would make sense. So, I went through a lot of like dark periods while I was writing these albums, and at different times in my life. It's part of life. And so I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm trying to find something happy to say with it. And I'm like, this is one of those, it's not that it's so much it's a sad song, but it's like, that's what part of that song was. And I think the happy part would be the fact that, like, it might have taken me a while, but the fact that I kept searching for that truth and going back to it, like, I had to feel all the pain that I felt then because of the things that were happening. And I did eventually find that truth. It took a while, and I'm still working towards it. I'm still doing it, but I've definitely found a lot more moments of peace over the last couple of years. The more that I've learned to honor that truth, and the more that I try to make choices in my life that honor this truth instead of always fighting against it or like trying to hide it or trying to be someone else. We got to be who we are. And when you are who you are, you find the right people that match who you are. And sometimes there's just long periods of time where you haven't found your people yet, or you haven't found the environments or the right jobs or the right things. And the way to find it is you have to start being authentically who you are and listening to what that truth is that's inside you and aligning with that, because we all have different truths in here that we got to align with, and we can't live someone else's truth. We have to like live ours. Well, anyways, I tried to lift it up a little bit with that one, because morning times it's supposed to be feel good, right? We gotta feel good before we start the day. We gotta put some good energy into the world, and then so we can receive some good energy and put more good energy out. Okay, I gotta go get ready and do the day, do the things. Y'all have a beautiful day.